The BBC for West Yorkshire.
BBC Radio Leeds.
Now then, it's time for, well, our recipe of the week with a professional kitchen, a professional chef, and a professional restaurant. And there are so many great ones in West Yorkshire. We've got one of the best for you today. I'm joined in the studio by Bobby Patel. He's from Prashad's in Bradford. Bobby and his team made it to the final of Ramsay's Best Restaurant. And he was Yorkshire's Life's International Restaurant of the Year in 2010 and has just got Bradford's first AA Rosette. Congratulations. Bobby's going to talk to us about how he makes some of his things and puts them together. Because I always think that Indian food particularly is very confusing, so we're going to get to the bottom of that. How are you?
I'm very well, Alex. How are you?
Hey, I'm delicious and delightful, and I'm glad you've come in because, I mean, you're up there with the best.
Thank you.
Can I ask how? I know it's a bit like how do you make an attractive baby, but how do you make sure your restaurant sticks out above the rest?
I think it's just a combination of very much passion. You know, at our restaurant, the key head chefs are all family members. They've been brought up around food, and we're a foodie family. So really, you know, the passion has to come from the kitchen. Our decor, our ambience, I personally wouldn't say is the best, but our service is second to none. So really, it is all about that passion from the kitchen to you through the waiters.
Nobody cares, though, do they, about what the stuff is like around you? I mean, ultimately, you go there for food. I know a lot of people have got their head up their backside in London, and I know in Las Vegas and New York, they talk about the dining experience, and that's all about how marvellous that is. But actually, at the end of the day, the truth is, what is served to you on the plate should be the most important.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's very much what we focus on at Prashad. We have limitations in our building, so I guess that's very much handy, because we're not about the ambience, really. We create a warmth through the personal experience, but the actual aesthetics are not what we're focusing on.
You weren't doing so bad a couple of years ago, but then Ramsay came into your life, and anybody who is touched by Ramsay can either go to great heights or fail totally. Yeah. I mean, he can destroy you, he can also make you. Yeah. For you, I mean, he's absolutely made you. I know that he's taken someone on an apprenticeship. You didn't even win, and you managed to get that.
That's right, yeah. I think he has a real warmth around us. He likes what we do. He likes, again, the word passion. He's very passionate, and he's often my wife Minnal, who's the head chef at Prashad, as you said, an apprenticeship. She's going to be working at Petrus and at Claridge's, learning all the techniques of his world.
I mean, that's crazy. Is that what it is, though? She's learning from him, or he's learning from her?
I think it's going to be a bit of both, really. I'm pretty sure that Gordon, being the astute guy that he is going to see that there's some talents here which that can be understood. You've mentioned it yourself. Indian cooking has got so many variables, so many spices. I'm sure he's fully aware of all of that. But seeing it from someone who's practically working in that industry day on day, it's going to work both ways.
I know any great chef, though, will say that you only get better by working in different kitchens.
Exactly,
I believe it's the same with TV and radio and the same with the stage. The more shows you do, the more places you work, the better your knowledge of what you do. He worked with Joel Robuchon in France, for example, who taught him a lot. And again, Indian cooking, it's not going to be innate to him. It's got to be something he's got to learn. And it's mum's cooking. That's what you do, really, isn't it?
That's right, yes. I mean, our business was founded on mum and her recipes. It's moved on from there. Mum's very much active. In fact, she's busy writing recipe books now, and very much active on a day-to-day basis in the restaurant. But it's keeping it original. I think that's one of the key things. Our palates develop, and we can tweak flavours. But keeping the product original really, really helps us keep our identity.
Can you get a bit too arty-farty and your head a bit too far up your backside when you start putting too much in and then it actually just becomes a mess? You see that a lot, especially with Gordon's programmes.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the food, and particularly Indian cooking, certain spices work in certain combinations, and that's the knowledge. I don't have all of that knowledge. I try and fail miserably, obviously trying to cook for a wife and a mum who are very high up there in cooking. I don't really get far beyond criticism.
So is that your life then? You're just always in their coattails and just trying to live up to their standards. Is that what it's really like?
My life is very much a facilitator. You know, I'm very happy with that as well. I mean, I don't claim to have all the chefing skills. I have an interest and would like to learn, and I'm in and around the kitchens as much as I can. But my job really is front of house and managing the restaurant, managing the direction of where Prashad goes.
Well, you're only as good as your staff. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. In fact, James Martin came in and we had a lovely chat afterwards about about how you can get aggravated before you even get in the building. For example, I heard Michael Winner yesterday saying that one of the things that annoys him when he goes in a restaurant is, do you have a reservation? What do you mean, do I have a reservation? I'm coming to give you my money. You should be saying, good evening, sir. Could I take your name?
Yes.
And I'll find it. It's your job to find out whether I've got a reservation, not my job to tell you.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. You are only as good as your staff. And I think up to before Gordon, our staff was our family. So, you were going to get that warmth. And what we've been able to do is over the last few months is take the 1 or 2 members of staff that we had then. They've promoted through to management. They run. And now we have 4 front of house. I think if you go on to, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention the name, but if you go on to various independent review sites, you'll see the comments on there. And, service is everything. The chefs work tirelessly, thanklessly in the kitchens. They don't get to see you. All they do is put their heart on the plate, and it's up to us to deliver that in the same warmth.
And isn't it preempting as well? My mate's just opened a new restaurant over in Whitby, and it's tough times, and he says his main thing is if something goes wrong, get to the punters before they get to you. So, for example, if you know there's a delay on the food, just go and say, I'm dreadfully sorry, we're trying to make you the best meal we can. It's going to be a few moments. Can we get you something? It's far better than them getting annoyed, angry, and either walking out or not coming back.
Yeah. I think in any service industry, a person who's spending money with you, as you rightfully said, has an expectation. And all they really want is communication. It's when they're left not thinking that they're being thought of or they're considered, and they're left to just sort of... and hungry people are the hardest people to manage. Hunger kind of elevates your frustration. So, if things do run... I mean, we have our restaurant. We're very, very busy. We're quite booked. And occasionally a party may have been late. That's fine for them, but it may have a knock-on effect for the next people who are coming in. Now, you can't really say to the first group, hurry up, and you can't really say to the last group, it's their fault. And you're in the middle there, and you have to manage that situation. The only way you can do that is clearly, if you tell your customer every time they ask how long is it for the table, if you keep saying 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, before they've sat down, you've lost them.
Why do taxis always do that? But it's always around the corner, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's never actually there, but it's always around the corner. I'm going to try some of your food next.
Okay.
Bobby Patel's here from Prashad, the Indian vegetarian cuisine restaurateur in Bradford. You're not going to blow me head off, are you? Because I'm a bit funny about spices and stuff. You're not going to... Is this
you
going
should
to be
have told me before this is really hot.
All right, lovely. Good luck. Radio Leeds, we're live and local and with you through until 12. It's the radio station that wakes you up with Martin and Catherine at 6:30 and drives you home with Andrew Edwards from 3. We're here today with my new friend Bobby Patel from Prashad's, the Indian vegetarian cuisine restaurant that really did gangbusters. Everybody got to know nationally through Gordon Ramsay and that programme. But locally, I mean, you've been around for a while, and you're not trying to do the chain stuff, are you?
No,
That's
not
the
at
point.
all. Not at all. I think we kind of had decided our future on that direction pre-Gordon, and now more so. We're very much looking into just keeping it simple, keeping it in one place, and keeping it consistent. Other things in the pipeline would be, which my mum's working on, which is the recipe books. We hope to do a little bit more TV, who knows. But in terms of food, in terms of our presentation, it really is the restaurant.
And you've put some food in front of me. And
Yes.
as you know, I'm a complete big girl's blouse and can't take it. So I'm going to try... What is it then?
This is what we call Bombay Pataka. Pataka is a Gujarati word for potato. So essentially the name of the dish is Bombay potato. And it's our variation. It's a saucy dish cooked through...
I'm a saucy person.
Excellent. It's a curry which essentially can be served with the naans, with the rice, with the bread. And personally, I eat it with cold. So I eat it cold with salad.
Oh, really?
So
Wow.
it's quite nice. I find curry is nicer cold. It's relaxed. It's rested. All the flavours have fused, and you're not going to get as much of the chili. So with your sort of lack of chili tolerance,
Yes.
maybe having it when it's a bit colder may work for you.
It is beautiful, actually. It's very, very nice, and it's just on the cusp
Yes.
anymore, and I'd be exploding as I sit here. My ears would be wagging, but no, everything's fine.
Excellent.
Really lovely. The rice is something interesting as well, isn't it? Because you can screw that up so easily. Just
As we did in the show, in the semis, we rice. People who cook rice have a familiarity with a type of rice.
You keep talking, I'm eating.
Yeah, go for it. And for us in the show, we use a particular brand of rice that wasn't supplied for some reason or other, and immediately the technique went.
Right.
Rice is very, very, although very simple, you just need to have an understanding of the rice and the cooking method.
Very nice, lovely. Hey, always nice to see you. Just I don't know whether you know, but I used to be big, in the old days. I was very, very
Of course
big.
I do, yeah.
And there was always a table available. I'd ring up. Is there always a table available at your restaurant, or are you actually ever fully booked?
Most of the time, by the start of service, we're full. Generally, in the early part, 2 months ago, we were full for 5-6 weeks. No table, lunch or dinner. That's now slowed down, so we have got tables available within
But I'm saying on a Saturday night, for example, should you be fully booked? Should Belfield ring up? Would there be a table available?
Oh, for Belfield, we can certainly try and create one for you. If not, you can come and have lunch, have the meal at our house.
Well, there we are. Everything's perfect.
There you go.
Bobby, always nice to see you. Thank you for coming in again, and send lots of love to your mum, and good luck with the books and everything.
Thank you.
And